Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! I work with a company that times races. Running, cycling, triathlon, and so on. The owner is a guy named John who works at Race Timing Company. Both made-up names. At a race, some equipment was stolen. It's expensive equipment but extremely specialized. Maybe 200 people in the United States use this system. The components cost about $1,000 each for a total of about $4,000. About a month later, the stolen equipment popped up on eBay. John reached out to the seller via eBay and asked that his stolen equipment be returned. The seller was rude, as might be expected from someone selling stolen equipment, and he said there's no way you know it's your equipment. Thing is, photo number 3 showed one of the boxes with a printed label on it. Race Time Company, John owner, John's phone number, and it literally had his name on it. So John escalated to eBay to at least prevent his stolen equipment from being sold. eBay totally dropped the ball. They bought the seller's story that he had bought it at a mail auction for lost mail, which made no sense since the seller's information was in the same town where the equipment was stolen. The seller also tried to claim that John had no way of proving that it was his stolen equipment, except, it had his name and phone number on it. John had no evidence that the seller hadn't bought it at a mail auction and ruled against John. So John hatched a plan. He did what any rational person would do. He purchased his own stolen equipment back using an employee's name and asked that it be shipped via the United States Postal Service. He was right next to a post office, he said. And that's when the pro-revenge comes into play. It is a felony to knowingly traffic stolen items. So John waited patiently as his equipment was marked shipped, and it ended up arriving at his co-worker's house, in another state for good measure. John called the Postal Inspection Service. He had the seller's full name, address, and proof that he knew it was stolen, and he had police reports, pictures of his name on the equipment, matching serial numbers, and transcripts of him informing the seller that it was stolen and so on. The United States Postal Service inspectors knocked on the guy's door 2 days later and reportedly found numerous stolen items. He was charged with almost a dozen federal felonies, including felony theft, trafficking stolen goods across state lines, and lying to federal agents. To top it off, John filed a stolen goods complaint to his eBay since he now had tons of proof that he had been sold stolen goods. So he got his money back, minus shipping. It all started when I went to buy a birthday gift for my mom. I'm not the best at picking presents, so I knew it might take a while to find the perfect thing. As soon as I got to the mall, I realized I needed to use a bathroom. Better to take care of that first before diving into shopping, I figured. So I headed to the restroom to do my business. After washing my hands, I was about to leave when I saw an older lady in a wheelchair roll in. She looked to be in her 50s or so. Our eyes met, and I could tell she needed some help. Do you need any assistance? Oh, that would be wonderful if you don't mind. Could you help me into one of the stalls? Of course, no problem at all. I carefully helped her out of the wheelchair and into a stall. Then I parked her wheelchair at the end of the bathroom where it wouldn't be in anyone's way. I wasn't sure if I should wait around to help her back when she was done, or if that would be weird. In the end, I decided to hang out near the exit where I could see or hear if she needed help again. A couple minutes went by, and then I saw a young boy, maybe 10 years old, start to walk into the women's restroom. Hey buddy, the men's room is over there. My mom said I could use this one, 'cause it's cleaner. He gave me a nasty look as he said it. I thought about arguing but decided it wasn't worth getting into it with some random kid. So I just shrugged and let him go in. Another few minutes passed, and I peeked in to see if the lady was done yet. And that's when I saw the boy eyeing her wheelchair. Before I knew what was happening, he started pushing it out of the bathroom. Whoa, hold on there. What do you think you're doing? I found this cool wheelchair and I want to play with it for a bit. That's not yours. It belongs to a lady who's in the restroom right now. You can't just take other people's things. Mind your own business, you old cow. I was shocked. First of all, I'm only 26 and usually get told I was way younger. Second, what kind of kid talks to an adult like that? Excuse me? That's very rude. Now put the wheelchair back where you found it, or I'm calling security to report you for trying to steal from a disabled person. The kid glared at me with pure hatred in his eyes. Then he hauled off and punched me in the leg before running away. It didn't really hurt, but I was stunned that he'd actually hit me. Shaking my head, I wheeled the chair back into the bathroom. As I entered, I heard the lady's voice. Is someone there? Could you help me, please? Yes, I'm here. I'll be happy to help you. I assisted her out of the stall and back into her wheelchair. While she washed her hands, we chatted a bit. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate your kindness. It's no problem at all. I'm glad I could assist. We were heading out to the restroom still talking when I saw a woman storming towards us. The boy from earlier was right in front of her, pointing at me. Before I could process what was happening, this lady shoved me hard in the chest. How dare you tell my son what to do? Who do you think you are? She was screaming in my face. The disabled lady looked totally confused. I tried to explain what happened. Ma'am, your son was trying to take this lady's wheelchair while she was using the restroom. I simply told him that wasn't okay. So what if he wants to take the stupid wheelchair for a spin? She's not using it anyway. If I catch you near my angel again, I'll knock your teeth out. I was stunned. How could this woman think it was okay for her kid to steal someone's wheelchair? And why was she threatening me? The disabled lady spoke up then. Excuse me, but no one has a right to take my wheelchair, even if I'm not in it at the moment. And why was your son in the women's restroom anyway? You should teach him better manners. And that's when the angry mom completely lost it. Don't you dare try to tell me how to parent, you disabled expletive. You know what? Get out of that wheelchair so my boy can have a turn. And to my horror, she actually grabbed the disabled lady and tried to yank her out of the wheelchair. I tried to stop her, pushing her away, but she shoved me so hard I fell to the ground. Then she yanked the poor lady out of her chair and took off running with it, with her son right behind her. There we were, both on the floor in total shock at what had just happened, and the disabled lady pulled out her phone and made a call. Hey Matt, listen, I've been assaulted by a woman and her son in the hallway by the bathrooms. She pulled me out of my wheelchair and took off with it. Can you please do something? Yes, just now. Thanks honey, I'm okay, don't worry. Just try to catch her before she leaves the mall with my chair. Thank you. A few minutes later, security showed up. They brought us chairs to sit in while we calmed down. About 15 minutes after that, the police arrived, along with a man in his early 30s who was pushing the stolen wheelchair. Mom, are you alright? Are you hurt? I'm fine, honey, don't worry. He helped her back into her wheelchair. Then the police started taking our statements. I told them everything that had happened, and so did the disabled lady. Her son, who turned out to be a federal agent, filled us in on what happened after his mom called. After mom called, I found a security guard and had him radio the others to look for a woman and child who was in an empty wheelchair heading for the exit. They caught her trying to leave and held her until the police arrived. They arrested her and her kid threw a huge fit and even attacked some of the officers. After he was done, he turned to me. Thank you so much for standing up for my mom and trying to help her. We really appreciate it. The disabled lady took my hands in hers. Yes, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're such a kind person. Please, I'd love to have you over for dinner sometime as a thank you. Could I get your name and number? Oh, sure. That's very nice of you. I tell her my name and my number. Wonderful. I'll be in touch soon. Thank you again for everything. After all that drama, I didn't feel up to gift shopping anymore. The FBI son offered to drive me home, which I gratefully accepted. A week later, I got a call from the disabled lady inviting me to dinner. I went and we had a lovely meal. I asked what happened with the entitled mom. Were pressing charges against her? She's in quite a bit of trouble and Child Protective Services got involved regarding her son as well. The FBI son was there too and he thanked me again for helping his mom. It was a really nice evening and he drove me home afterwards. It's been 2 years since that crazy day at the mall. I still get Christmas cards from that sweet lady every year. I never did find a gift for my mom that day, but I ended up with an unexpected friendship instead. Looking back, I still can't believe how that entitled mom acted. Who tries to steal a wheelchair from a disabled person and to teach her son it was okay to do that? It's just mind-boggling. I'm glad that I was able to help, even though it was a pretty stressful experience at the time. I've definitely become more aware of entitled behavior since then. It's sad that some people think the world revolves around them and their kids, but I've also seen how many good people there are, like that disabled lady and her son. They showed me that kindness and gratitude go a long way. Sometimes I wonder what happened to the entitled mom and her son. I hope they got the help they clearly needed and learned to treat others with more respect. As for me, well, I still shop at that mall. But now I always keep an eye out for runaway wheelchairs. This happened maybe 3 hours ago while I was shopping. For a few days now, we have had security guards at the entrance who ensure not too many people and no visibly sick people enter the supermarket, and that there are no conflicts in the market because of the coronavirus situation. It started shortly after I entered the supermarket and walked to the bread aisle. There was a woman who seemed strange, like she was going to punch anyone who came too close to her, and I was minding my own business while my basket might have touched her shopping cart for a second, while I was standing on my toes to reach the bread on the top shelf at the back. She then looked at me disgustedly and said, "Watch what you do, you filthy brat." Then she stomped away. I didn't think much of it because since the beginning of the whole corona thing, it's like everyone below the age of 60, which is by far the minority in my area, is treated like they are going to harm you. So I'm kind of used to it by now. I got some more of the stuff I needed and went to the veggies aisle. There she was again, touching everything, which is something you shouldn't do even if there is no corona or flu season. Some customers talked to her about that while passing by. I grabbed some onions and potatoes, both in big cardboard boxes, so you have to bend down to get them. I didn't see her because I was surrounded by brown cardboard full of onions and potatoes, but then she bumped her cart into me like I was an obstacle she could push away. I'm literally at least 20 centimeters taller than her. It might weigh 15 kilograms more. The second time she hit rather hard, then a second later, I stood straight and looked at her. Can't you watch out where you push your cart? You're not the only one shopping here. Look at your surroundings. And if there's something in the way, push the cart around it. It's your fault that you jumped in my way. Also, why should I watch where I go? You're young, have 2 eyes and healthy legs. You should have moved to the side, but your generation is generally full of foolish people like you. I just shook my head and wanted to go away when she pushed her cart into me again. Luckily, another customer saw that and got an employee, so the employee saw the last bump. Excuse me, ma'am. You can't run over other customers. You have to watch out. Please don't bump into other people. She jumped in my way. Sorry, ma'am, but another customer saw that she was reaching into the cardboard for the onions and potatoes when you came and bumped into her. And this time I saw that you were talking with her and pushed it intentionally into her. She huffed and went away again. I thanked the employee and went on my way. At the cooling section, she was there again, taking whole boxes of things like cheese. I walked there and got one package from the coolers beside her. Not from her cart and not within her reach. It was even a different brand from hers. But she still looked at me and said, "You brat again. That's mine. You stole it. Give it back." I didn't steal anything. It's even a different brand from the 3 boxes you have in your cart. And I took it from this box in the cooler. I showed her and walked away while she kind of shouted something along the lines of, "I wanted to have the same cheese too." Happy that I was almost done with shopping, I walked to the pet food section and saw the employee from before. I smiled at him, got the cat treats and a new toy, and he approached me. "Do you have a cat?" "Yes." "Can I ask something? I'm going to get one too on Monday." I nodded. "About food and litter, which do you—" But the woman came running and interrupted us looking furious. "Where is the toilet paper?" "I'm sorry, ma'am, but we are out of toilet paper and paper towels. The truck is stuck at the border, so it might take another week for another delivery." "You have some in stock." "I need it now. Only a few packages." "We are out." and most markets here are out too. If you want some, you need to get it from the cities, the internet, or wait for the truck. He turned around and we continued our cat talk, but she interrupted us again. So this filthy, arrogant brat is worth more than a paying customer like me? I need you to get me toilet paper now. She was waving and snapping her hands like she was attacked by a massive amount of bees. I have no idea what she meant by a paying customer. Am I not a paying customer to her? Isn't she also a non-paying customer if she still hadn't paid for the stuff in her cart at that moment? We are out. We don't have any in stock. No one said anything about the worth of customers. You were the one interrupting. I cared for you first, so don't make any conclusions about this and leave before I get security. One of the security guards looked in our direction as the employee had talked a bit louder than normal because we were basically in the middle between the entrance and the exit and the registers. The woman saw that and stomped away. I then shared all my cat knowledge with the employee and went to the registers after picking up one or two more things. Register 1 closed and 2 opened. I was the first at register 2, and I had most of my stuff already on the register when the woman showed up. I was already preparing myself for more foolishness as she started to pack her stuff right behind mine, leaving only 1 or 2 centimeters of space. Not even the divider fit in between. So I pushed my things a little more to the front and then she started again. Don't you dare touch my stuff. Keep your filthy hands to yourself, you brat. You even took my place at the register when I was in front of you at the other register. Well, I was the first at register 2. She was nowhere to be seen when this new one opened. And if a new register opens, the rule is whoever is first in line is first to be served. Your place at other registers doesn't matter. I didn't even stand at the other register, so this made no sense at all. She screamed like I punched her. She even touched me and held my arm, trying to drag me behind her. I hate being touched, so I slapped her hand away, which might have hurt a little bit. You attacked me. The register man, coincidentally the same employee as before, saw that and wanted to say something, but I waved to him and shook my head. I was so done for today. I walked up to him, he scanned my stuff and it was time to pay. So I grabbed my wallet. Because of those modern small pockets in jeans, the tissue package I always carry with me fell out. The woman then snapped again. Oh my god, this brat has corona. Get her out. She touched me. I need to be compensated for this because I had so much contact with that filthy brat the whole time. I want a discount. She pushed the cart into me again, and the second time she tried, I held it and pulled on it hard, so she almost fell. Well, she got what she deserved there. I picked up the package, looked at her, and the cart was still in my hand to stop her from pushing it, which she tried. Just when I was about to tell her off, a security guard showed up. I thought I was doomed, but nope. The lady was asked to leave the supermarket. She of course resisted and said how I harassed her, attacked her, and so on. I explained what she meant by so much contact, and the employee offered the security footage of her attacking me with a cart. The security guard asked me if I was fine because of the potato encounter and this register card bumps. I told her it did hurt a little in my bruise, which it did. Thanks, lady. In the end, she didn't get anything from the shop and instead got a house band and an escort to her car without her card because she caused so much scene and was attacking another customer, verbally and physically. I got a 25% discount on my stuff and I think I might have found a new friend in that employee. We are going to meet on Monday